the flaws Raven had to make you want to kill her, you had one more to have to kill her. Go rot in hell. Always remember this whilst you're in hell. We all knew who Raven was, regardless of how well she hid it. But no one will ever know who you are, Mr. Murderer. Just remember that. Think that fact while you're rotting in hell. No one will ever know who you are. Hey YouTube. Hey Tom. Hey girls in Detroit. My little tribute for Raven is I identified with Raven a hell of a lot, in the sense that I could relate to her obvious signs of mental illness. She was a girl who liked to be alone and left alone as well. She was a girl who just wanted to do her own thing, and she had a lot of identity issues, and she had a lot of personal issues across the board. I would say they included intimacy issues, personal intimacy issues, trust issues, general personal security issues, not feeling secure in oneself generally across the board. I would say she had this sense of where she didn't know where or how to fit in, and I could see that in her, and I identified severely with her. Just as simply her lack of eye contact with the camera you held, Tom, exhibited all the symptoms I have just listed there. Just the simple fact of she simply didn't want people to see her. She had the most beautiful hair. Any model would die for. Any model would die for. Even the colour of it as well. She had the most fantastic bone structure. She had the most fantastic eyes. Any model would die for. She was very Jerry Hall-like, but a lot more attractive with it. Granted, she wasn't as tall as Jerry Hall, but I think that's where she excelled, where her features excelled, because she wasn't as lanky, yeah. She was shorter, yeah. She wouldn't have succeeded as much as Jerry Hall, what with the lack of height, but I think Jerry Hall suffered in her looks a lot because she had that exceedingly lankiness to her appearance. She looked very gaunt overall. That is the lanky look. The gaunt. It leads to an individual having a very gaunt look overall, top to toe. The legs being exceedingly bony. The ribs being always bony, and the elbows and the length of the arms always displaying boniness. That kind of structure the modelling world cries out for, doesn't it? And it's what the modelling world needs. That's how it works. That's how fashion designers like to create their clothes for, that type of body shape, don't they? They like to be able to hang their clothes on that type of physique. Create for that kind of look. They're very tall, and Raven, she had that more attractive version of Jerry Hall. She was a more attractive version of Jerry Hall, if you will, Raven was. I use past tense, yeah. I've only found out about her death about 4 hours ago from making this video, as I speak now, about 4 hours ago. I cannot see how, no matter where she was run over, I cannot see for the life of me how she would have stepped in front of a vehicle purposely. Or even accidentally, if you get my meaning. I cannot envisage any kind of road which she could have crossed in her walk of life where she would have been so unawares of the geography of that type of road, that she could have been run over accidentally. Because Jerry then. Raven was a girl. She was a girl of the street, wasn't she? And I can imagine everywhere she would have walked, everywhere she would have went in her life, daily life, she would have been totally aware of how each road was laid out, etc., etc. So that's why I say I can't envisage how she could have been run over accidentally. It would have been a deliberate act against her person, get me? Yeah? I can't see her stepping out in front of a car deliberately, and I can't see her getting caught out on a road accidentally. To the point where she didn't realise the geography of the road, and she was caught out and a car clipped her. I can't see those two instances occurring. A car would have had to have aimed for her and deliberately ran her over, ran into her and thus ran over her deliberately on purpose to have caused harm toward her. If that is the case, that she was run over by a car. Because her body could have been laid out and strewn out on the road to make it look like she was run over, couldn't it? Yeah, I am upset, and I'm not necessarily bothered whether or not we find out her true cause of death. It's Raven, because of her lack of confidence, general overall lack of displaying lack of sureness and self-secureness, and displaying self-well-being, which I was discussing earlier in the video. Because of all these symptoms she would have displayed toward everyone she would have met, she would have been one of these people who would have been difficult to have looked at in the eye, and I can see how she could have been a disagreeable type of person. I can see how I can see how she could have got on someone else's nerves very easily. I can see easily how she could have got on someone else's nerves. I can see easily how she could have rubbed someone up the wrong way, easily, because of this hypo nature. She had a very hyperactive, full-on energy all the time nature. She had this where she was, as I say, she found it difficult to look at people in the eye, and that is all just simply down to her mental illness and her lack of security within herself as a person. She wouldn't have been deliberately behaving in such a manner. It simply would have been because she suffered severe mental illness. I think the person who would have found her unagreeable and who did deliberately run her over, I think it would have been that person's problem if they found her unagreeable, and it would have been that person's problem that they had to come to that decision to run her over to end her life. It would have been that person's problem and not Raven's. Not Raven's. So, Chuck, Raven, it weren't your problem, girl. It was the person who killed you's problem, who found you unagreeable. It was their problem. Alright, Raven, it was their problem, not yours, girl. Their problem. They found you unagreeable. It wasn't your fault, Raven, that you suffered mental illness. It weren't your fault. So, if you're out there, if you're watching this, the person who actually killed Raven, it was your problem that you found her unagreeable. It was your problem. Okay? So, yeah. Sodja, go to hell, dude. You're watching this now, the person who run Raven over. Sodja, go to hell. You go to hell. No. You go and rot in hell, man. It was your problem, not Raven's. Raven was doing everything she could and within her power to do. It wasn't her fault she suffered mental illness. It was your fault for coming to such a decision that you felt the need to run her over. It was your fault. You had the bigger sense of unagreeableness to have come to the decision to find the need to run her over and end her life. You had the bigger problem to find that need to kill her. You did. Scum, man. bang out of order. You're the problem. Watching Mr. Murderer who felt the need to kill her. You're the problem, not Raven. You.